60.
If you see a faded sign at the side of the road that says 15 miles to the
Love Shack, yeah.
Welcome back. You're not at the Love Shack, but you are on Love Real Estate Radio. Thank you for tuning in this Saturday. Co-hosting with me today is Scott Harms. He's kind of beating his pen over there because we like this music.
We do. We think a Love Shack is actually real estate.
Yes, it is, because I was just talking to Scott during the break and he has been incredibly busy. If you're thinking, oh my gosh, Sandra, the government shut down, how has it affected? Is it going to affect? This man has been incredibly busy. I hardly even get a chance to talk to him. He's been closing loans left and right. I have listings coming up on the market as well. So I don't want you guys to think, oh, how is it affecting lending? Is it affecting? And Scott, you're going to talk next segment on that, right?
Minor impact. We'll talk details in a little bit.
Yes. But I want to remind our listeners that we are having our first-time homebuyer seminar. When? It's going to be October 26th, 3 p.m., right after the show. Go ahead and make that, circle that on your calendar, put it on your iPhone, your Google Calendar. We're going to have so many experts there. Scott's going to be there talking about the financial roadmap to get you to buy a new home, buying up, refinancing credit. Special guest Lee Lopez from, what was the name of his company? Pacific Horizon Financial is Scott, who's over here looking at me saying, Paul, who's looking at me saying, what is she talking about? Lee Lopez is Wealth and Wisdom Partners, and he's going to be talking about how money works. You don't want to miss this great opportunity. But let's go ahead and talk to Paul. Paul Cortez is with Pacific Horizon, and they did a workshop. Gosh, Paul, when was that? Was it last month already? Has it been?
Probably a month and a half ago.
A month and a half, standing room only. And then all of a sudden we started getting all these calls from investors saying, hey, Sandra, are you going to be doing a seminar for investors? We have money. We want to put our money to work. And what was the answer?
Absolutely.
He said absolutely. So I love that they are so hands-on and they're so willing to help our community and to help you guys. And some of the questions that I have for Paul is, is it safe to loan money right now, Paul, with so much uncertainty in the government? I mean, it seems like, the sky is falling, but it really isn't because, right here across from me is Scott, who's been so incredibly busy. So what about for private lending?
It's absolutely a good time to loan and to invest for a lot of reasons. Even with all of the politics in the news right now, we know that the government has been printing a lot of money, and excuse me. And whenever you've got more dollars chasing the same amount of goods, you've got inflationary pressure, and that's what makes loans secured by real estate a good investment at this time.
I think that's a great time. I know that my friend Chris Bedgood, he's been on the show. He's on A&E Flipping San Diego. Chris, if you're listening, a big shout out to you, buddy. He is busy. He is busy flipping houses in San Diego. He even reached out to me and said, you know what, I'm looking now in Florida. And so, of course, I call Pacific Horizon Financial, and hopefully these guys can help Chris. But it's amazing. There's activity still happening in the market, and I'm glad to hear that, with our investors who are listening, if they want to reach out to you, let's go ahead and give them your website, Paul, because I want to make sure that they connect with you.
Our website is phfinancial.com. That's P as in Pacific, H as in Horizon, financial.com.
So PH and then the word financial.com.
Correct.
All right. So just in case you didn't write that down or you forget or you're driving, just remember, go to loverealestateradio.com and we have a direct link there to Pacific Horizon Financial. And you can even sign up if you want to do that this is a great opportunity. Let's invest. Let's keep investing. And, my mortgage expert across from me is shaking his head saying, yes, absolutely. We need to do that.
So, Paul, really what you're offering is an opportunity for investors to put money into trust deeds that are collateralized by real estate. Is that correct?
That's correct. We've got that as the instrument of security. And so when an investor, when we've got an investor that comes in, of course, we've got a variety of investors, and we offer conservative first trust deed loans.
And I love that you guys can sit down and take a look at everybody's portfolio, make sure that it works for both. And with that said, I want to ask you, so what kind of yield can these investors expect to make with Pacific Horizon?
Well, as a beginning investor, we recommend that investors start out conservatively with the well-secured first mortgages on houses or on small income properties. Typically, but not always, the better the credit, the lower the yield. Many of our competitors, they tout 12% yields in their marketing, but what we strive for are the high-quality loans that would net an investor between 8 to 10% on short-term transactions.
And you know, one of the things that I want to mention, Scott, is that these guys have been doing this for quite some time. How long have you guys been around, Paul?
We've been around since 1989.
So
That's a great track record. Great track record.
great track record. They're still there. They're still, reaching out to investors or reaching out to flippers. Now, what if we have some investors that are thinking, well, how much money do I need? How much can I start with?
A beginning investor can typically start with as little as $50,000.
Okay, so that's, pretty attainable. What if we have maybe a couple of friends that, want to do a joint venture? Would you guys be open to doing something like that?
Absolutely. We can pool investors' monies to fund a loan, and particularly with the private.
The private lending that you do.
Lending, correct.
And that's really interesting. I do have a friend, Guy Matsuda. If you are listening to me, buddy, this is for you, because he contacted me and he said, they owned a jewelry store. He went to Hawaii. He was doing some investing before he went to Hawaii. And it's so funny because just on his Facebook, I saw the other day, he was out in Hawaii just for, relaxing, and then ended up staying there. And then he was in Hawaii 5-0. And on a couple of the episodes. And then he said, dang it, they keep calling me back, and I'm back in San Diego, so I'm back in the mainland. I can't go back. And I'm like, But he said, but you know what? I want to start investing again. And so if you're listening, Guy, this is for you. Reach out to Pacific Horizon Financial. They're here in studio. Let me give you the number just in case you don't have it, 888-571-9595. If you are listening to us, we are talking to Paul Cortez. He is with Pacific Horizon Financial. We're talking to him about investors who want to invest their money. And, can you tell us again, Scott, because you had a great point of how this is collateralized?
Basically, what Pacific Horizon does is find opportunities to lend money to non-traditional borrowers who are still safe borrowers,
right,
at reasonable loan-to-values against real estate. So that what that means is you have a well-secured loan at a high rate of return. And Paul, you said they're fairly short-term. What do you consider short-term?
Short-term for us is 1 to 3 years.
So if we have an investor that might be thinking about a CD, for example, at 1%, 1.5%, this could be an alternative to them to get 8 to 10% for 1 to 3 years.
That's correct.
I think I like that bigger return than the smaller return. I don't want to do a 1% return or a 2 or a 3. Gosh, if I can go 8 on my money, wouldn't you, Paul?
Absolutely. We've got a lot of new investors that come in and say, yep, we've been getting 0.5% over the past year, and we're looking for an alternative investment. And at PHF, we like diversification. We're not asking for you to invest all your monies with us. A portion of those funds would could get a yield for you would work just fine.
And I want a big yield. So if that's you out there and you want big like me, you want to win big, you need to reach out to Pacific Horizon Financial. Reach out to them. If you forgot their phone number, no worries. You can just go to my website, loverealestateradio.com, or go to phfinancial.com. Paul, thank you so much for coming on the show. Can you come back again? I have so many more questions for you.
Absolutely. I had a great afternoon, and I would love to come back again.
Perfect. Stay tuned. Coming up next, is the sky falling with mortgages? Absolutely not. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.